On a sunny summer morning in Port High, a town by the sea, Carl Anderson and Patricia Sagon, the famous couple, had a wholesome plan to go for a drive and have a cute picnic date. The bright sun and blooming flowers added perfection to the day. It felt like the flowers were saying hello to them as they started their journey together. In their car, Carl and Patricia smiled and chatted. The town, with its cute houses and pretty flowers, looked happy for them. They didn't know where to go, but they just wanted to have fun on the journey and enjoy being together. After a pleasant drive, they found a quiet spot under an old oak tree. Carl brought a basket full of delicious snacks for their picnic. They spread out a cozy blanket, and the tree's branches provided a nice shade. It felt like their own little paradise. As they enjoyed their food, the sounds of birds and the distant sea made the moment special. Carl and Patricia laughed and shared stories, making memories on this simple yet joyful day. It wasn't about where they went. It was about being together and appreciating the beauty around them. In Port High, where everyone knew and loved them, this day became another happy chapter in Carl and Patricia's story. The town, with its sea breeze and friendly faces, added its charm to their journey of love and companionship. Although Carl faced a challenge that made his days a puzzle: vascular dementia. A tricky illness flushed his memory every 3 days. But there was something magic about Carl's memory. He never forgot the love of his life. Patricia, his dear wife, was more than a memory. She was a living, breathing anchor that held Carl steady in the sea of forgetfulness. Every 3 days, when Carl woke up confused, Patricia would be there, a guardian of their shared past. She would open a journal filled with memories, a special book that held the stories of their life together. It was like a treasure chest unlocking precious moments that time couldn't steal. Patricia was determined to be Carl's guide through the fog of forgetfulness. One morning, the sun spilled its warmth over Port High, casting a golden hue on the quaint town. Carl woke up with a jolt. A girl lying beside him, whom he didn't recognize. Panic set in as he searched in his mind for answers that slipped away like sand through his fingers. Then, like a gentle lighthouse, Patricia emerged, her touch and voice a beacon of reassurance. "Patricia, who is she?" Carl would ask, his eyes reflecting confusion. Patricia, with unwavering patience, would take out the journal, a chronicle of their love story. Page by page, she would weave a narrative that connected the dots of their shared journey. Her voice was a soothing melody, and her words painted pictures that brought back the colors of their life together. As the stories unfolded, Patricia's gentle touch stroked Carl's hair, a comforting rhythm that calmed the storm inside his mind. Slowly the panic receded, and a familiar glint appeared in Carl's eyes. Patricia knew that look, his pupils dilating, reflecting love and admiration. It was a sign that her man, her Carl, was back. The journal became a lifeline, a bridge between the past and the present. Each entry was a tiny victory against a relentless march of forgetfulness. Patricia's love and dedication turned their home into a sanctuary of memories, where the echo of laughter and the warmth of shared embraces lingered. In this routine, Patricia found a profound sense of purpose. She embraced each day as a chance to recreate their shared history, to remind Carl of the beautiful tapestry they wove together. It was a dance with time, a delicate choreography with love, resilience, and unwavering commitment. As the sun set, Carl and Patricia sat together, his gaze, now filled with a mixture of gratitude and melancholy, spoke volumes. In those moments of clarity, Carl held onto Patricia as if she were the anchor in a stormy sea, and so, in the little town of Port High, where the sea whispered tales of love and endurance, Carl and Patricia faded each day hand in hand. The journal became not just a book of memories, but a testament to the enduring power of love, a beacon of light that guided them through the labyrinth of forgetfulness. And as the stars painted the night sky, their love story continued, a tale written in the pages of a journal etched in the fabric of time. As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm glow over the meadow, Carl and Patricia decided to pack up their picnic treasures, sandwiches wrapped in foil, puzzle pieces neatly tucked away, and the paint-stained brushes all found their way back into the baskets. With a satisfied sigh, they gathered everything and strolled back towards the car, ready to bid farewell to their picnic spot. But as they were heading back, a surprise was waiting. They saw a tiny shop with a bright sign saying Ink Spot by the roadside. Carl chose to take a spontaneous turn. Patricia, puzzled but trusting, followed his lead. Stopping in front of the tattoo shop, Carl turned to Patricia with a grin, saying, "Let me make your day." Patricia's eyes sparkled with understanding, a delightful anticipation bubbling within her. She had a feeling she knew exactly what Carl had in mind. With a nod, Carl stepped into the tattoo artist's domain, leaving Patricia outside with a mix of curiosity and excitement. Half an hour later, Carl emerged, a new addition to his appearance catching Patricia's eye. On his forearm, in bold and elegant script, was engraved the date, September 2nd, 2009. Patricia's heart swelled with warmth as she realized the significance of that date. It was the day they first met, the day their story began, the day that started it all. But more than that, it was today, their anniversary. Carl, with a grin that mirrored Patricia's delight, shared the story behind the impromptu tattoo. Each stroke of the ink told a tale of their journey, an indelible reminder etched on his skin. Patricia couldn't help but smile, feeling the depth of their connection in this unexpected and heartfelt gesture. The car rumbled and the engine hummed. As they continued their journey home, Carl and Patricia shared a quiet moment, hand in hand, knowing that the date now engraved on Carl's arm would forever be in their hearts as a symbol of love, laughter, and beautiful journey they had embarked upon together. As they resumed their journey down the winding road, Carl felt a subtle ache in his arm beneath the protective layer of polythene wrapped around his fresh tattoo. The discomfort served as a tangible reminder of the impromptu decision he had made at the tattoo shop. Though his arm throbbed with a soreness, it was a pain laced with significance, a small sacrifice for a permanent mark of their shared history, a pain he knew he would never regret bearing. On their journey down the road, Patricia, armed with the special Polaroid camera Carl gave her for her birthday, turned moments into pictures. The road was like a ribbon stretching out before them, and she wanted to capture it all. The bright flowers, the twists and turns of the road, and even the cows chatting away on the farms they passed. But what mattered the most to her was Carl. Click after click, she immortalized their adventure. The flash from the camera made Carl blink in surprise. He would glance over, laughing, and tease her. "Do you want us to crash?" It was all in good fun, a playful exchange that filled the car with laughter. Patricia, without missing a beat, would calmly respond, "I wouldn't regret dying with you." The camera became a magical box, freezing time, turning ordinary scenes into memories. Each snapshot held a story. The vibrant colors of the flowers, the never-ending road, the cows doing their cow conversations, and most importantly, Carl's expressions, his eyes, wide from the flash, told tales of surprise and amusement. As they moved along, the Polaroids stacked up, creating a visual diary of their journey. Patricia held onto each picture, not just as a photograph, but as a piece of their shared history. Amidst the scenic beauty, Patricia's laughter and the hum of the engine filled the air. The sun began to set, casting a warm glow on everything around them. The banter continued, and each tease from Carl and calm reply from Patricia felt like another snapshot, a part of the narrative of their journey. The sun dipped lower, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange. The road seemed to go on forever, an open invitation for more stories to unfold. As they drove, Patricia looked at Carl, their eyes meeting in shared laughter. The journey continued, the road unfolding like the pages of a storybook. With every passing mile, Patricia realized that it wasn't just about the pictures, it was about the beautiful moments they created together. Almost reaching their destination, a loud honk from a truck startled both Carl and Patricia. They quickly checked the side mirrors, and in an instant, a cow appeared right in front of their car, blocking the way. Carl slammed the brakes hard, the pressure making them touch the car floor. The tires screeched, and miraculously the car stopped just a few millimeters from the big white cow. Carl and Patricia were glad the animal was okay, breathing a sigh of relief. But their relief didn't last long. The truck behind them couldn't halt in time and crashed into the back of their car, making Carl hit his head on the steering and poor Patricia thrown through the windshield and onto the road. The truck, now a crumpled mess, marked the aftermath of the collision. Concerned, Carl checked on Patricia, who lay on the ground. Patricia opened her eyes slightly, and despite the throbbing pain, she gave Carl a weak smile. Carl, still reeling from the shock, helped her to her feet. The car, once a symbol of their journey, now sat battered and wounded by the roadside. A passerby called the ambulance, which arrived rather quickly. Emergency responders arrived, then sirens cutting through the uneasy silence. They attended to Carl and Patricia, checking for injuries and ensuring their well-being. The cow, seemingly unbothered, meandered away, leaving behind a scene of chaos and relief. As the paramedics tended to Carl and Patricia, the gravity of the situation sank in. The destination that seemed so close moments ago now felt distant. The journey had taken an unexpected detour, leaving them with physical and emotional bruises. In the midst of the commotion, Carl and Patricia clung to each other. Their love, resilient in the face of adversity, served as a source of comfort. The car, though damaged, held the echoes of countless memories, a testament to the twists and turns that life could throw their way. As the ambulance drove away, carrying them to a hospital for further evaluation, Carl looked back at the wreckage. The road, once a path to their destination, now stretched out as a metaphor for the unpredictable journey of life. Despite the crash, the love that bound them remained unbroken, a guiding light in the midst of unexpected chaos. After 2 days of slumber, Carl awoke to a world painted in stark white. Machines beeped rhythmically around him, and a tangle of tubes entered his nose, while a mask helped him breathe. In a burst of panic, Carl sat up, inadvertently pulling on the ECG wires attached to him, desperately searching for Patricia.
"Where is she? Where is my wife?"
Carl's cries echoed through the sterile room, drawing the attention of the bustling staff. Nurses, doctors, and others hurried towards him, their faces marked with urgency. The sudden awakening triggered a code alerting the medical team that their patient was now conscious. As Carl frantically sought answers, the scenes of the accident flashed before his eyes. His heart raced, matching the beeping of the monitors around him. Tears streamed down Carl's face as the weight of the situation sank in, making him weary of the situation. The medical team tried to calm him down, explaining that he was the only one brought to the hospital and that there was no woman nearby. The news hit Carl like a wave, and he struggled to comprehend the reality.
"No girl, just Carl,"
the doctors reiterated. It was a painful revelation, and Carl, unable to reconcile with the absence of Patricia, slumped back onto the bed. The heart monitor beeped with irregularity, a reflection of the turmoil within him. In the quiet aftermath, doctors worked diligently to stabilize Carl. The beeping of the heart monitor turned into a symphony of urgency as medical professionals made efforts to bring his heartbeat back to normal. The room buzzed with activity, each beep and hum contributing to the recovery. Slowly but surely, the heart monitor's erratic cadence began to smooth out. The collective efforts of the medical team bore fruit, and Carl's heart rhythm finally normalized. The once chaotic sounds of urgency transformed into a steady, reassuring beat. The room, once filled with frantic energy, now exuded a sense of relief. As Carl regained consciousness, he opened his eyes to the all-white surroundings, now more aware of the reality that surrounded him. The absence of Patricia, a painful void, lingered in his thoughts. A few hours later, physically he was okay, but his mind carried a weight that urged him to leave. Despite the doctor's advice, he signed a form and chose to step into the unknown. As he prepared to depart, he noticed a tattoo on his wrist, marking September 2nd, 1903. A wave of memory washed over him. He remembered how he got this 2 days ago, but it looked like it had healed well. Regardless, he felt an urgent need to uncover the truth. Gathering his clothes and belongings, Carl stumbled upon a camera in the hospital that survived the crash, a Polaroid camera which belonged to Patricia. In a rush of anticipation, he flipped through the photos, found frozen memories of flowers, cows, the road, and himself. Determined to retrace their journey, he gathered their belongings, including the memoir-filled journal they shared. Every spot, every click of the camera led Carl back to the exact moments they had lived together. He immersed himself in the scenes captured by the Polaroid camera. Flowers standing tall, cows in their conversation, the winding road that seemed to stretch endlessly, and the moments they shared. It was a journey to revive memories, to reconnect with the joy that echoed through each photograph. However, amidst the familiar scenes, a puzzle lingered in Carl's mind. The crash, the moment when Patricia seemingly vanished into thin air, remained elusive. Though only 2 days had passed, the concussion from the accident clouded his memory, preventing him from grasping what had happened in those critical seconds. Carl made his journey backwards, revisiting every picture in that camera roll. He was confused and in desperate need for answers. He reached the exact spot where their lives took their turn. Carl sat there, eyes filled with tears and uncertainty. The echoes of the crash, the beauty of the surroundings, and the absence of Patricia all collided in his mind, creating a storm of emotions. It was a moment of vulnerability, a raw expression of the pain and confusion that wrapped around his heart. As Carl grappled with the reality of the crash, the road beneath him seemed to absorb the weight of his emotions. In the midst of it all, he sat trying to piece it all together, hoping that somehow the road, the flowers would reveal the missing pieces. Carl sat there, tears dripping his cheeks. The weight of confusion and loss pressed heavily on his heart. It was then that a passerby, a man carrying cut grass, noticed Carl's distress. The grass in his hands hinted that he lived nearby. Kindness sparked in his eyes as he approached Carl, a stranger in need. Carl, wiping away his tears, mastered the strength to ask the passerby pressing questions.
Did you witness a crash here? What exactly happened? Can you tell me?
The man, though unfamiliar with the details, knew someone who might have answers, a person residing in a nearby hut. Carl, desperate for any lead, welcomed the man's suggestion and followed him to the wooden door of the hut. A knock echoed and an elderly man emerged. A warm smile crossed his face upon seeing Carl.
How are you doing now?
He inquired with a gentleness that hinted at a deeper connection. The man accompanying Carl was perplexed by the familiarity between the two. As the elderly man questioned Carl's knowledge of him, he asked,
Do you know what date it is?
Carl stood in silence.
It's September 4th, 1913.
The old man continued. A wave of confusion and disbelief washed over Carl, prompting him to look at his wrist where the tattoo bore the date September 2nd, 1903. The pieces of the puzzle seemed mismatched, leaving Carl bewildered. The man, sensing the confusion, sought to unravel the mystery. He shared a tale that transcended time, a narrative woven with threads of love and loss.
This young man is whom I was expecting,
the elderly man explained.
His wife passed away in a car crash here 4 years ago. 2 days ago, I heard another crash and found him just like I did 4 years ago. In 1903, he made it, but she did not. He hasn't moved on and revisits this road every year on the 2nd of September, reliving their memories through her Polaroids and their journal.
The revelation struck like lightning, illuminating the shadows of Carl's recent past. The man continued, dealing Carl's unique condition.
It's ironic how he forgets everything every 3 days but remembers her and every detail about her. When he recently met with an accident, I feared the hit on his head would erase those memories. Instead, it seems to have transported him back to the first crash where he lost the love of his life.
The passerby stood in stunned silence, grappling with the unexpected tale of love, loss, and the enigmatic nature of Carl's existence. Meanwhile, Carl, absorbing the profound revelation, sat on the grass surrounded by the echoes of a story that defied the boundaries of love.
I am glad I remember her, even if in the wrong timeline,
Carl uttered with a voice cracked by emotion. A bittersweet smile graced his face as tears fell. Looking up at the sky, he closed his eyes, silently wishing that she, his beloved wife, was looking down and smiling back. In that moment, it became clear their story was a tapestry woven beyond the constraints of time, a love that endured even as the hands of the clock kept turning.